Welcome. So, have you ever looked at an English word, felt absolutely 100% confident you knew how to say it, and then got a completely confused look when you actually said it out loud? Yeah, trust me, you are not alone. Students of English around the world face this exact same frustration literally every single day. The spellings of English words, they cause immense confusion. But today, we're going to fix that. We're demystifying English pronunciation once and for all. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the pronunciation problem. Then we're unlocking phonemic symbols, getting into vowels and consonants decoded, exploring the power of word stress, and finally, listening for the main idea.
So part 1, the pronunciation problem.
You see, the main pain point for learning English is, well, the trap of spelling. We're naturally wired to look at words and just pronounce them exactly the way they're spelled, right? But in English, identical letters can create completely different sounds. Take the word chorus and the word church. They both begin with the exact same letters, CH, but in chorus, that ch acts as a hard k sound. In church, it acts as a ch sound. And you know, it happens the other way around too. Take ration and machine. The sh sound is the exact same in both, but it's spelled T-I-O-N in the first word and CH in the second. It is, quite honestly, pure spelling chaos.
Which brings us to part 2, unlocking phonemic symbols. If we can't actually trust the alphabet to tell us how to say a word, what can we trust? Well, phoneticians created a pretty brilliant solution. But to really get it, we have to look at the stark math behind the English language. The fundamental problem here is that there are only 26 letters in the English alphabet. But, and here's the kicker, there are 44 actual distinct speech sounds in the language. Those 26 letters simply aren't enough to cover all 44 sounds without overlapping and causing that exact confusion we just talked about. To solve this, phoneticians use something called a phoneme. A phoneme is basically a special symbol used to indicate each distinct speech sound perfectly, with absolutely no ambiguity. Honestly, this is your secret weapon for independent learning. Every single time you open a dictionary, right after the word, you're going to see its pronunciation written out in this kind of strange script hidden inside slash brackets. Those are the phonemic symbols. Once you learn them, you can correctly pronounce any word in the dictionary without ever even hearing it spoken first. How cool is that? Okay, moving right along to part 3, vowels and consonants decoded. Let's see how this actually builds into real speech. Those 44 English sounds, they're split right down the middle into 2 distinct, really manageable groups. We've got 24 consonants and 20 vowels, and the difference between them is entirely physical. Vowels are produced with absolutely no obstruction in your mouth. Your breath just flows completely freely. Consonants, on the other hand, well, they're produced by a complete or partial stoppage of breath using your lips, teeth, or tongue. Let's zoom in on those 20 vowel sounds first. They're further broken down into 3 types. We have 7 short vowels, like that quick I sound you hear in pit. Then we have 5 long vowels, like the drawn-out sound in car. And finally, we have 8 special double vowels called diphthongs. But really quick, before we talk about diphthongs, I want to give you a handy visual cue for those long vowels. When you're looking at those slash brackets in your dictionary, you'll notice that the symbols for long vowels always have 2 tiny colon-like dots right in front of them. It's a great little trick. The moment you see those dots, you instantly know you need to lengthen the sound. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding that third category, the diphthong. A diphthong is a sound produced by combining 2 vowel sounds together. But it's not a static thing. As you speak it, there's a distinct physical movement, a glide, in your mouth from the first vowel sound right over to the second. I actually want you to actively notice your jaw and lips moving when you say them. Seriously, let's test this glide out right now. Take the word say. It's not just one flat sound. It's say-e. Say. Do you feel your mouth close slightly at the end? How about boy? It starts with an O shape and glides right to an E. Bo-e. Boy. Or the word go. A lot of learners say a flat go, but it actually glides from O to oo. Go-oo. Go. It's literally 2 sounds beautifully joined together. Now, just briefly touching on our 24 consonants, remember that these involve stopping your breath. And the good news is many of the phonetic symbols for these sounds look exactly like the regular letters you already know, like B, T, or D. But okay, others look totally alien. For example, the ing sound in a word like sing uses a symbol that looks a bit like an earthworm with a tail. But hey, do not let these unique symbols frighten you. They might look scary at first, but they are really just simple codes for sounds your mouth already knows perfectly well how to make.
All right, on to part 4, the power of word stress.
Now that we've got our sounds mapped out, we arrive at the second major pillar of English pronunciation: stress. English is a stress-timed language, and stress is defined simply as the extra force used in pronouncing or speaking a particular part of a word. Like, when we say mother, we don't say mo-fur. We put extra force on the very first part, mother. And thankfully, your dictionary is incredibly helpful here too. It'll indicate exactly where this extra force goes, with a tiny high mark placed right at the top of the stressed syllable.
So, here are your practical, step-by-step instructions for mastering any new word. Step 1, look up the word in your dictionary. Step 2, find those slash brackets containing the phonemic script. And step 3, before you even try to speak it, spot that tiny stress mark floating up on top. That little mark is your guide. It tells you exactly where to push your breath and apply that extra force.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why stress is so vital. Take the word spelled R-E-B-E-L. If you put the stress on the first syllable, you get rebel, which is a noun, like the rebels laid down their arms. But if you just shift that tiny stress mark to the second syllable, it becomes rebel, which is a verb, like children rebel against their parents. The exact same thing happens with present, the noun, and present, the verb. The entire meaning and part of speech shift, literally just by moving the stress. It's a real game changer.
Finally, let's hit part 5, listening for the main idea. Okay, we've mastered sounds and we've mastered stress. Now we're transitioning from the micro level of single words to the macro level of reading and listening. Why do we even care about all these sounds? Well, because sounds build sentences and sentences build ideas. I want to give you a quick practical application test straight from our source material. Take a listen to this short excerpt. Computers are now an integral part of our lives. There is hardly a sphere of life that does not involve the use of a computer.
So, whenever you read or listen to a passage like that, you should be asking yourself the ultimate comprehension question. What is the main point the author is actually trying to make? See, good comprehension isn't about memorizing every single vocabulary word. It's really simply about determining the overall topic and then recognizing the main idea attached to that topic. So, for our excerpt, the answer is pretty clear. The broad topic is simply computers. But what is the author actually trying to say about them? Well, the main idea is the role of computers in our daily lives. And that is exactly how you successfully distill a full passage of text down to its absolute core message. Find the topic, then find the idea. It's that simple.
To wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a really fun, kind of provocative final challenge straight from our sources. Consider these 4 related words: photo, photograph, photography, and photographic. The sounds are super similar, right? But the stress literally dances all over the place as the word grows. I highly encourage you to grab your dictionary right now, crack open those slash brackets, and see exactly where that tiny stress mark lands for each one. Trust me, you might be surprised. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning.